What is up, guys? It's your boy, Hung Kakis. And today we are going to be discussing the Hung Jury Legendary Scout Rifle. Now, this is the current featured Nightfall weapon, dropping from the first week Grandmaster Nightfalls were introduced within Season of Defiance for Destiny 2. And I can already hear some of you saying, oh my goodness, the Hung Jury again? Really? We're talking about this thing again? And brother, I'm right there with you. I've been getting this darn scout rifle for what feels like multiple years now. In fact, here's the original version, and that's actually a lie. The original version was all the way back in Destiny 1. This was the first time it was introduced back in Season of the Splicer right here. You can see it's got the old Nightfall exclusive perk Bottomless Grief, and the reason this became popular right off the bat is that the stats for this scout rifle are outrageous. Compared to other precision frame scouts, the Hung Jury just bodies them. Combined with the fact that it can get explosive payload as a perk, one of the best PvE perks in the game, 10 to 15% bonus damage all the time, plus infinite range on that explosive damage, meant that this was a really good tool for end game arsenals, specifically doing Grandmasters. Like, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. You'd beat the Grandmaster to get the Hung Jury, and then the Hung Jury itself was very good within Grandmasters as a champion stunner. Then, I think just last season, the Hung Jury was actually updated. You can see now it's gilded out. I mean, we got this thing on Pimp My Scout Rifle, I guess, because now it's got, importantly, stunning recovery. In fact, it's got a whole suite of origin traits you can choose from, but specifically the fact that it can get kind of the same role, and I did get what was previously the god roll here of rapid hit, explosive, and then stunning, means that you're using it in endgame content to deal with those champions, to stun those champions, and now you're getting a massive chunk of health and starting regen whenever you do that. So obviously a clear upgrade over the original version. And then out of nowhere, Bungie goes, we're not quite done. Remember the Hung Jury you grinded for like last season? Well, guess what? You're grinding for it again because it's back, and yet again with all new perks. Importantly, it actually has the brand new perk just introduced this season, Kinetic Tremors, which says sustained kinetic damage to a target emits a shockwave that damages any nearby targets. Now, interestingly, this is the first ever kinetic exclusive perk. So just like how stasis weapons are the only ones that can get chill clip, only kinetic weapons can get kinetic tremors. Makes sense from the name, but I digress. How effective is this perk in game? Well, interestingly, when I go into this lost sector to do some testing, I can't even get the darn thing to trigger at first. And that's because I'm killing enemies so fast in this low level content that the sustained kinetic damage doesn't even have a chance to take place. And it has to take place on a singular target. I can't put a bunch of rounds into one guy and then the first shot on a second guy, it will trigger. No, it all has to be on that same target. When I eventually do find this yellow bar servitor, you can see after quite a few shots, it will trigger and cause a series of explosions. 3 to be precise, and you can see I stop shooting and still get all 3 explosions on this target, and those explosions are doing a decent amount of damage with 7,900 against this servitor, and my body shots against this guy with the Hung Jury were doing 3,334, which means each one of the 3 explosions is 2.37 times more than a single body shot. Essentially, you're getting, close to a full magazine worth of damage for triggering kinetic tremors. That is not nothing. In fact, that's actually quite impressive for a kinetic. However, this is honestly one of the most scalable perks I've ever seen, and what I mean by that is that it scales into the end game and gets better the more difficult the content is. Because, like I was saying, I couldn't even get the darn thing to trigger against low-level red bars. I had to go out and find a more powerful enemy. Well, if you're doing higher-level content, if you are doing stuff like a Grandmaster, you're going to be triggering kinetic tremors with every darn enemy because every everything is bullet sponges in that type of content. So the higher level the content, the more shots it takes on a target to kill them, the better kinetic tremors is going to be. However, I wouldn't be making an entire video if I was just talking about kinetic tremors on this thing. There's actually something that you can pair with it that creates a new hung jury god roll that's very different from the other ones, that has the potential to be absolutely bananas. And that other perk is Shoot to Loot. And this says shooting an ammo brick picks it up and automatically reloads all of your equipped weapon reserves. Now, Shoot to Loot has always had a little bit of a place within the PvE meta. Some people really like it, and it lets you do some pretty insane stuff. Like when you are triggering Shoot to Loot, when you're in Glassway and you can see the heavy ammo across the map, and you can shoot it and get it and you save the day, it feels like the best perk in the game, but a lot of people still overlook it. However, it has a very interesting combo specifically with kinetic tremors. And that combo is, as you can see right here, with the final boss, I have a nearby special brick. I shoot the final boss. I do not shoot the special brick at all. And when kinetic tremors actually triggers and that large explosion happens, the edge of that explosion touches that special ammo, and you can see it triggers Shoot to Loot. Which means what we have here is the first Destiny 2 vacuum cleaner, right? You are literally getting those massive explosions and sucking up all of the ammo within the radius. And so the utility of that is really phenomenal, especially in a lot of endgame activities. You're using your primary for the utility just to save some ammo, to deal with some champions, and often with Shoot to Loot to get ammo for your much more powerful weapons. Now you can potentially do that much more efficiently, and frankly, you don't even have to think about it. Just as you're killing enemies and getting these triggers, again, it's sucking up everything within this huge radius. But guys, if you think that sounds good, there's actually two different buffs coming down the pipeline for this role. The first one is in the mid-season update. Scout rifles are getting a 10% damage buff in PvE. Obviously good. But then in Season 21, as you can see, Bungie actually revealed that Shoot to Loot is being updated so it works with Orbs of Power. That's right, you can now shoot an Orb of Power across the map, get that super energy, get all of those armor charge triggers with Shoot to Loot. That is a huge boost in this perk's power. And that means with this kinetic tremors roll, that massive radius is now going to be vacuuming up every orb of power within it alongside the ammo. So, oh my goodness, you're going to get this thing to trigger once in a group of enemies. You're going to refill all your ammo for your special and your heavy. You're going to get half your super back, and all of your armor charge perks will be active, all with your primary weapon. Now, obviously, that's best case scenario, but still, the fact that this role serves such an interesting and unique utility purpose within the game is viable out to endgame content because of that utility, and the fact that it's getting a massive buff with the change to Shoot to Loot means that, yeah, if you can get your hands on it this week, I would recommend you do so. And so guys, that is it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.